getting a whole bunch of comments from people asking me how to do a manual swap on a Chaser, and I know that I've said that I'm going to be manual swapping the car, and that will happen. However, at this current standpoint, we're currently waiting for about 40 different little things from Japan. We're waiting for 40 parts. They're not going to come for another couple of weeks because of shipping delays, and I'm sure you can figure out why they're being delayed, but just know that the manual swap is coming. We're still waiting on a whole bunch of parts. There's a big hole right here. You need a plate that goes over this, so we're going to wait for that. We need to get a clutch for the thing. We need to get a clutch fork. We need to get a release bearing. There's a whole bunch of little things that we need for this swap. So in the meantime, we are going to fix the Chaser as it currently sits, or at least try to attempt to fix it. That's what I gotta do every time I move the Chaser. I'm gonna try and fix that transmission leak. Let's go. See, this is what I'm talking about. That's only like 5 minutes of sitting. Worked good this time. We've got the car jacked up on jack stands now. It's just chilling there. I've pushed it, moved it, and it's all nice and firm and solid. I'm gonna put a couple more things there to keep me safe because I don't want the car to fall on me. We come over here and have a look underneath the car. You can clearly see where the leak's coming from. I already showed this in another video. I've got my torch under there, so it's a little bit easier to see. But if you come under here and have a look, oh man, it is wet all along here. It's wet all along this cork gasket that seems to be in place, which I don't think is stock and should be replaced. It's everywhere, man. It's not good. I believe that this cork gasket is the reason for this thing leaking. So what I'm gonna do is take it off. I'm gonna replace the gasket with RTV silicone, stuff that you use on like oil pans, stuff that you use on normal engine stuff. And we're gonna see if that fixes it because a lot of you guys actually recommended that I do this. So I'm gonna give it a go because obviously we won't be doing the manual swap for a while. So I may as well try to fix this thing. And no, I've never done this before and I have no idea what I'm doing. If I bring you really close to this cork gasket, you can see that it is saturated in some sort of wetness. I could have worded that so many other ways, but it is all along that gasket. Hopefully the camera decides to pick that gasket as a focus spot. All along there, all the way around. And I really do think that this is the culprit, unless there's a leak coming up further up there. Hashtag no spill gang. Hashtag no spill gang. Nice. You're probably like, Rex, it's amazing you've done this before. But no, I've never done this before. I'm kind of just looking around trying to think what doesn't need to be removed and what does need to be removed. That's what I love about Japanese cars. It looks like you gotta remove a bolt just here. It's probably a 10 mil. And if it's not a 10 mil, it's usually a 12 mil. Ooh. That's interesting. It looks like someone's thought that the dipstick was leaking, so they'll put some silicone around there. You can see it in the middle of my palm. So maybe it was leaking from there once upon a time. Oh wow, these are loose as. I know they're supposed to be sort of like loose, but these are neck level loose. A bit of automotive archaeology, as Nathaniel would call it. Automotive archaeology. Shut up, Nathan. Ooh. Nice, Rex. Nice. You live and you learn. I just spent the past hour cleaning up all the transmission fluid. That was a big fail. I'm lightheaded because I used like 1 can of degreaser. For every like 3 seconds of spraying the degreaser, you become like... I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. I might take a quick little break. We finally have the pan off the transmission. You can see that everything's looking good under here. It doesn't look black or dark at all. It's purely pink fluid, suggesting that it's like brand new stuff. However, it just hasn't been sealed right, it seems. If we come over to the pan itself, I don't think any car uses a cork gasket anymore. I think that's like pre-1990 where people used to use cork gaskets. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just speaking out of my ass, but I've never ever used a cork gasket. You come over here and you can see there's a cork gasket. I mean, I can kind of see that there's like nowhere to put silicone. Maybe it's supposed to come factory with the cork gasket, but I just don't think it's sealing properly. I think this is the reason why it's leaking so much. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna probably do some more research before I do this, and I'm gonna place silicone to make sure everything seals right. You can just see there's like, it is wet all along here. There isn't sort of like a dry spot for the gasket. You know, underneath, even underneath it's sort of wet still. So I'm just gonna bin this. Also what's interesting is if you come over here, there's 2 magnets in here and they pick up like little metal particles, and there is quite a lot. You look at that, there is quite a lot of dirt buildup on that. Ooh. So this transmission isn't running amazing, it seems. I don't know, man. Yo, we're back here. I've edited like half the video and we're gonna continue working on this throughout the night because I wanna get this done. And I've also got the research back telling me that what I'm doing is, apparently in the manual, it tells you that you should use silicone. Then on like sites like Repco and Supercheap Auto, they suggest using a cork gasket. I've also had a number of people contact me on Facebook telling me, because I made a post on the JZX page to use RTV silicone, and I'm pretty sure I got some left. Sorting through the cupboard over here. I'm gonna rack this. Half of this is pretty much Lachlan's, but he used half of mine on his engine, so thanks fam. I'm gonna clean out this oil pan, get rid of all the metal stuff here, and I'm gonna start placing some silicone around there, clean underneath there where this seals onto. I'll show you how it's done.
No, I'm sturdy like a Millie Rocket. Skin clear, still look young, Andy Miller knockers. Money in my pocket. Don't call me a money pocket. Engine get to rocket. It sound like a thunder rocket. Yeah, I still love my baby even when it's toxic. Crazy like she Britney.
So I've done a bit of silicone all around the oil pan. It's not the best sort of bead that I've done. This transmission's only meant to last me until I can get the manual transmission in, so I don't really mind. I'm pretty sure this will be totally fine. I've got everywhere on the surface that's flat that's gonna mate with the transmission. My hands are hurting so much from pushing that goddamn RTV thing. Let's quickly get this in before it dries up.
Used to pay me none, look, now they pay attention. Everybody say they drip, but I banded it.
I've just been out here vibing for the past like hour and a bit. It's been a little while. We have successfully completed putting RTV all around the oil pan. I'm super happy with how it turned out. I cleaned up everything underneath there, so it's looking really nice. Obviously we can't keep vibing until we see what happens. I mean, it might solve the leaking issue. I'll show you underneath the car, but who knows? We can only find out once we fill the transmission up with fluid and run the car. Oh yes, oh yes. Remember exactly what it was like before we did this. There was oil everywhere, it was leaking everywhere. Now we have some silicone gasket holding this thing all back together. Shout out to my sponsor Lachlan for providing the RTV gasket. I really appreciate that, Lachlan. Make sure you guys go over to Lucky Soup, I think it is. Sponsor of the video, Lucky Soup, thank you very much. Yeah, but everything's looking really good. I'm not gonna put anything in here until tomorrow, so we're probably gonna end today's video here. Dipstick is in. I put a little bit of silicone just around where the dipstick goes into the connector right here, just in case, because you never know, anything could happen. So yeah, we've got the dipstick in there as well. I'm pretty sure that we fill the transmission up from this spot over here. That's the only place I can think that you would fill it up. Other than that, everything's good to go. I'm happy to start this thing tomorrow. It's a new day and I can actually go outside and get some transmission fluid, which is it illegal? I don't know. I want to talk about that. I know a lot of the world's gone back to a normalized sort of living environment. Here in Victoria, we're still in lockdown. We've been in lockdown since March. We've been in and out of it once. It's making it extremely hard to make content, extremely hard to be motivated and stuff because, you know, I want to get parts. There's like certain things that I want to do, but I can't do because I have to get parts for, and none of the shops are open. You have to order everything online. Shipping takes forever now. It's a little bit difficult. I'll tell you that. But we're hanging in here strong. And if you guys are in Victoria and also are having the same issue being unmotivated and stuff, I completely understand where you're coming from. It's not a cool time being in lockdown, being at home. The only time you can really even go outside is if you have a mask on, which it's not really encouraging, but it is what it is. I get a lot of you guys on Instagram messaging me and asking me like how I'm so motivated, what keeps me going, and I wish I could reply to every single one of you. It would take me days to reply to everyone, but just for everyone asking those things, just know that everything's gonna get better eventually. Just give it time. Time heals all wounds. I said it to everyone. Anyway, on a better note, thank you guys so much for purchasing hoodies and stuff, t-shirts on the Rex HYT website. Lastly, want to mention that if you guys want some of this stuff, it is going out of sale. We are getting rid of every bit of hoodie and t-shirt in my room right now because we're planning on the next release. So this is the first ever hoodie / t-shirt we've ever released. If you guys want to cop one of these, make sure you go Rex HYT website. So hopefully this fixes all the leaks. Hopefully there's no more leaking now. There's a little bit of an oil leak, which is nothing to do with the transmission. We have a whole timing belt and cam seals, front crank seal, everything's coming for this car. Super happy to get this thing sealed up. I can't wait. A lot of this stuff I've never done before. I've never worked in this engine before, so it's pretty cool. We're doing this and we're able to do it because of previous experiences with MR2 engines and Camry engines. So it's awesome how everything's so similar. I want to thank you guys all for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. See ya.